Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is the day 11 of our academic writing series, and trust me, you don't want to skip this particular one. If you have not yet watched the day 10, that is the in-text and end-text referencing format, I highly recommend that you pause this video now and watch it first. That section actually lays the groundwork for this one because referencing ties closely into our today's topic, most especially when we'll be talking about plagiarism. Now, in this video, we will be covering 4 major topics that can really elevate the quality and the professionalism of your academic document. Number 1 is a list of figure and table. Number 2 is the editing. Number 3 is the proofreading. And finally, number 4 is avoiding plagiarism. These skills are actually essential whether you are writing a SIWES report, seminar report, thesis, or you are even preparing for journal publications. So by the end of this section, trainees will be able to format and style list of tables and figure correctly, understand proofreading techniques for academic writing, also apply effective editing strategy to improve clarity and flow. And the fourth one, organize and avoid plagiarism to maintain academic integrity. So let's dive in. Now, what is importance of formatting? Why is it necessary for us to actually format? Why is it essential for us to format? Number 1, it enhances readability. Your work look more polished and professional. Number 2, it helps the reader to navigate your document quickly and effectively. When you list all those list of figure, list of table of content, it helps the reader to navigate your document quickly and efficiently. It also ensures that you meet institutional and publication standard. For those of you in final year or a master student writing projects, seminar reports, it's part of the institutional standard to create a section for list of table, list of figure, and do some editing. So those formatting actually ensures that you meet institutional and publication standard. Then the fourth one, a well-formatted document creates an excellent first impression on your reviewer, supervisor. In a case whereby you submit your document to your supervisor, and at first glance, the supervisor will be able to tell if you are really serious with your work or not. I've come across a case whereby a student contacted me and said the supervisor did not even look at the work. He said, with this your format, it is so certain that your work is very, very wrong. So this well formatted documents actually give a good first impression to your supervisors on your project report or seminar report or whichever writing or academic writing you are into. Now, the first part now that we'll be discussing, the first formatting that we'll be discussing now is a list of figure and table. Firstly, what is list of figure and table? It's not a new thing again. List of figure and table are separate sections on your document where you write list of figure as an headline, and on that page you write what list of table. Then under it now, it will contain the list of figures in your document in this structure. You can see it now, and the list of table as well. So what is going to each of them will include a figure or a table number, either figure 1, table, or table 1. Then it's going to include a caption or what we call the title of that figure or the table. Then it's going to include the page number where it is actually found in the document. So this actually helps the reader or the reviewer to go through your work efficiently. Now, type of formatting. In academic standard, there is 2 ways that you can actually format your list of table and list of figure. The first one is what I call continuous numbering format. Continuous numbering format. In this case, you have figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4, figure 5, figure 6 till the last figure in your document, or table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4, table 5 till the last table in your document. So this kind of formatting is known as continuous numbering format. Now, the second type of format that we have is chapter numbering format. Now, this numbering format is actually based on the chapter. So now for chapter 1 now you have figure 1.1, figure 1.2, figure 1.3, figure 1.4 and so on as the number of figures appearing in chapter 1. We carry figure 1 point. So if it's the first figure, it will be 1.1, the second figure will be 1.2, 1.3 and so on. In chapter 2, it will now be figure 2.1, figure 2.2, figure 2.3, 2.4 and so on. In chapter 3, figure 3 point, chapter 4, figure 4 point, chapter 5, figure 5 point. So it's going to be based on that, and same is actually applicable to list of table. Table 1.1 means that is the first table on chapter 1, and table 1.2 shows that is the second figure on chapter 1 as well. Then when you see table 2.1, it means is the first figure on chapter 2 and so on like that. So this kind of formatting is based on chapter. Now you might be asking that which one should you use for your report. Now this is actually based on supervisor's preference. Some supervisors want you to use chapter numbering format, while some supervisors want you to use continuous numbering format, while some supervisors give you the chance to choose either between the two of them. Anyone that you use is quite okay by them. So you might need to ask your supervisor which one you are to use, or maybe you use one, and if they correct you that this is what I want, then you can go ahead and do that. So that alone will help you to know which format are you to use and which one not to use for your academic writing. So now I'll be showing you how to format list of tables and figures. Now list of figures and table, how do you do that now? So we will be going to my document, the one I use for my project, then one of the drafts. So I'll be showing you how to format them now. So let's go to the document now. Welcome to my final year project report that was written by me. That was in the year 2023. So now we want to teach you how to format. Now the first one I'll be teaching you is how to do continuous numbering format. Now in this case now you go to the figure. You go to the figure, let's see. Okay, now this is a figure now. You now right click. When you right click on the figure, you will see insert caption. You will see insert caption. So you press insert caption. Since this is actually a figure, not a table, you are going to choose figure, but because it's already in figure, so you just choose figure. Immediately you choose figure, then you will see figure 1 displaying here. Then you can click on that figure 1, then put double column normally, then write the caption or the title of that figure. Now this plant that you're actually looking at is Mesoneuron bentaminum. Mesoneuron bentaminum. Now this is Mesoneuron bentaminum plant extract. Now this is the figure inserted. Now what you can do also is that you write the reference for this particular one. For this particular one, it was Gomi et al. 2023. That is because I was the one that snapped the picture, so I decided to use my name as a reference. So, but if you pick the picture online, or peradventure you pick the picture somewhere else, it's necessary you need to cite the picture. But if you snap this picture, you might choose to cite and you might choose not to cite because it's your own. You understand? It's your own, so you might choose not to cite it. So when you do that, you press OK. Immediately you press OK. Now immediately you press OK. Now you can see figure 1 is now showing on Mesoneuron bentaminum, showing this way. Now what you can actually do is that you have to edit this. Now you know this is actually in blue, blah blah blah. It might not really fit into the style that you want. You can do that and correct to 12, to black, you know, the way it should be. And if it's not going to be bold, if you don't want it bold, you remove it from bold. Then this Mesoneuron is a scientific name, so it's going to be in italic. That's the botanical name for the plant extract, so it should be in italic form. Now you do this for 1 and you go to another figure. Now this is another figure. This is the second figure in this document. Now you are going to apply the same method. You right click, then you press insert caption. You see automatically it's going to tell you that this is the second figure. See now, figure what? 2. So you don't need to do the 1, 2, 3 yourself. It's already telling you that this is the second figure that you are clicking on this document. So all you just need to do is to put the semicolon, then write the title of this. Now this is the structure of pyrrolidine alkaloids. So, and you might need to write the referencing. Tamta was the reference for this format, et al. 2012. Then you press OK. Then you can format this, or instead of you to keep formatting this, you can as well come down here, just click on this particular styling here and scroll down, because you might need to do a lot of things, and instead of you formatting, just press this style that is here and just click on this caption. Immediately you are on this caption, just right click on it, then you go and modify. So it means that you will set it to what you want it to be. New Time Roman, yes. The font should be in 12, yes. The should be double spacing, yes. Should be centralized if you want it centralized, yes. If you want it justify, some lecturers or some supervisors want your caption to be justified, while some supervisors might want you to centralize it with the figure. So if you centralize, you pick this, then you change the color to black. So immediately you do this, you can press OK. You see now it's going to format. So everything is going to be corrected according to this. You can as well remove it from bold, or you can only bold in the figure 2 and then leave the rest on bold, depending on your supervisor. Your supervisor will tell you whichever format you are to make use of, but just know that you are consistent with one style. It means that if you are making your figure number to be bold, you have to bold all your figure number from the beginning to the end, and your caption is on bold. In some cases, you might need to only bold your references. You need to bold that all. In some cases that you will bold the title and the figure number, but you will not bold the references. So whichever one that your supervisor is requesting from you, you have to do that. And in some cases, you might need to capitalize this as well. Every first significant word, not of is not part of the keywords here now. So now this now might be capitalized. Now when you do this now, you do that continually for the remaining figures in the article. Then when you have done that, then go back to list of figure now. Now this is because I have done this here before, so I would delete it now so that I can teach you how to do it. Now if you are already here, if you are already on your list of figures, all you need to do here is go to references. Then you pick this particular one, this insert table or of figures. Now when you choose here, now you are going to choose figure here. So choose your figure. Then this dot 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 means that if you want dot 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 to be like this, then you pick this. But if you don't want dot dot dot, you can pick none. You can see. So for some supervisors that doesn't want you to pick dot dot dot, don't use that. For some supervisors that want dot dot to appear, don't, then you can use it. The truth is that anyone is accepted, but it depends on your supervisor's preference or your reviewer or publication standard. So when you have done that, all you just need to do is to press OK, and it will tell you do you want to replace selected yes. You can see now this is because I've filled in the remaining one. So you can actually see now it has bring the figure 1, figure 2, figure 3. So you don't need to type one by one. You don't need to type one by one. This is all you need to do. Then when you do that now, you can now delete your citation, because citation should not appear in the list of tables. It's only the figure number or the table number, the caption or the title, then the page number where it appears. So your references or citation should not appear here. Then when you've done that, now you can now adjust the format. So you can now put it in double spacing, justify, and so on and so forth. So now this is for list of figure. So same is applicable to list of table us that there are few changes. Now this is for list of table. This is the first table on this document. What will you do? You can see this plus sign here. There will be a plus sign here, so you have to click on this plus sign. If you click on that plus sign, it highlights the old document. Then you right click. You apply the same method, insert caption. Now when you insert caption, now you now change this figure to able. Now you know when you want to actually write the caption for your table, is always above the table. Now you pick above selected item. But if it was for figure, now that was because I have set it before, is below selected item. That's why it's appearing under the figure. But able most of the time always appear above the table unless your supervisor says you should do otherwise, but that is the common way. So list of table, the title of the table always appear above while the figure always appear below. So now when you change this to list of table now to table now, then you now write above. You pick above. Then when you do that, now it's already here now, but that was because I actually put it in justify. That's why you do not see anything on this caption. But just press OK in case you are facing something like this. It will appear here. Then you can still write it. It's not necessarily you need to write it there. Just you can still press OK. It will appear here. Then you can now write. Now, what is the title of this table? Taxonomy of Mesoneuron bentaminum. Of Mesoneuron bentaminum. Now this is taxonomy of Mesoneuron bentaminum. You write the citation, you change this to italic form. Then if you want only that place to be in bold, you unbold this. So now you are going to repeat that step also for every table in that article. Then when you've done that, you go to your list of tables. I've done this here. That is why you are seeing. So let's delete it now and redo. Now you are going to insert table. So in this case now you will be picking table. You can see you'll be picking table here. Then you can also change this to either non dot dot or with dot dot. You understand? But just make sure that any format that you are making you use of for your list of table or your list of figure should be applicable to your list of table. Any format that you are making you use of for your list of figure should be appeared or should be also be applied for your list of table. You have to be consistent. So since we use dot dot now, let's use dot dot here. Then you press OK. Then you ask you, do you want to replace? Then you see it. So you can see that you don't need to start typing table 1, go and check the title. Now check the page number. If you check now, everything is in alignment. Let's check for this. Is in table 10. Is in page 10. Can you see now? This is page 10 of your report. This is page 10 of the report, and this is in page 45 and so on. So now this is how to actually do your continuous numbering format. This is how to do your continuous numbering format. Now, for you to actually do your your chapter numbering format, for you to do your chapter numbering format, what you need to do is that what you are doing here is not what you will do. Now let's go back to that figure again. Now this figure that you are seeing now is on chapter 1, Abi, is on chapter 1. So this should be figure 1.1. This should be figure 1.1. If you just write 1.1 here, you alter it, it might not reflect. If you write 1.1 here, this one will reflect, but the figure 2 will not change to 1.2. No. And if you mistakenly delete this particular one, you can see this particular one, you've altered it. It will not display when you call it in list of tables. So this is how you solve that problem. You don't need to put 1.1 here. All you need to do is, okay, let's just copy this so that we won't need to re-type it. All you need to do is to delete this one now. Then click on this reference, press insert caption. But in this ace now, you will pick figure 1.1 now. Figure 1.1n is not here. You have to rename a new label. Now you now take your label as figure 1.1. You take your new label now as figure 1 point. You don't need to write 1. It's the one that will include 1. So you take your new label as figure 1 point. Figure 1 point. Then you press OK. Now you are on figure 1 point now. You just need to press OK. It will tell you 1.1. Then you can now write your double spacing, then put this here. Then you will see there is a slight space between the full stop and the 1. So you might need to delete that space. Don't delete that one. Immediately you delete that one, press Ctrl Z. Don't replace the 1 by your keyboard 1. It's different. Immediately you replace the 1 by your keyboard 1, it will not display. So immediately you delete this now. Immediately, let's say as you want to delete, you mistakenly delete this. Don't write 1 here. All you just need to do is use Ctrl Z to bring it back. So now this is 1.1. Let's check for the second figure in this article. Now this is the second figure in this article, but this figure is still under chapter 1. So all you still need to do is that you are still going to make use of that figure 1 point. You are still going to make use of that figure 1 point. So we are still making use of this figure 1 point. Just press OK. It will tell you 1.2. Can you see? It's telling you this is the second figure that you've clicked in this document. So you just insert this. Then you format it the way you want, remove the bold and all of that. But now let's go and check another figure. Let's leave the remaining figures now. Let's go and check another figure on another chapter now. Now this particular figure that you are seeing now is on chapter 3 of this document. So what will you do now? This is not figure 1 point again. What you are going to do in this case is for you to just delete this particular one, then press insert caption. Now don't use figure 1 point here, since you are now on chapter 3 of this article. Now all you need to do is to insert a new label. Now this new label will carry figure 3 points, then you press OK. 3 points, then you press OK. Then you can now press OK. 3.1 will appear here. Then you can now add this. Do you understand now? Now this is a second figure here. Now let's try for this also, so that we can have multiple. Can you see? So now let's delete this. Do we copy that? Let's copy it so that we won't need to retype. So now insert caption. This is still under figure 3, so you just need to still just press OK. Do you understand? So it will tell you that this is the second figure on chapter 3. Do you see? Then you insert this now. Then when you are done formatting all the remaining one, then you can now come to your list of figure here. So you won't be making use of this particular one. So you won't be making use of this particular one. So you just go back to your reference tag, then pick this particular one. Then you now call, instead of you to call ordinary figure, you call figure 1 point. When you call figure 1 point, all your listed figures on chapter 1 will display. You go ahead back again, you call figure 2 point if there's any figure on 2. You call on figure 2 point if there's any figure on 2. But since there's no any figure on 2, you call on figure 3. Then you see. Then you go ahead and call on figure 4 if there's any figure that you've captioned on 4 and 5 and so on. Is that clear now? Now, there are some cases that we still used to encounter in this particular one that I would love to share with us. Now, this particular thing, now you can see there is a space here. If you try to delete it, it will tell you to delete for 1.1. So there are 2 ways that you can actually overcome this. Number 1 is for you to reduce the font of this arrow. You can reduce the font here to as low as 1, so that it's going to shift up. So the font here, this particular font, you can reduce it. Number two, what you can do is for you to copy this particular one, to cut it without any stick. Just cut it, delete this. You can see now. Then you can now paste. Then when you paste, you go here and you now pick this. You can see this now, but the color has changed. And of course, you can change back to your format, remove the underline words and change it to black when you are done. So in this case now, you've modified the whole thing to header. So this is how you do that for list of figure, and same is actually applicable to list of table, only just that table is always up. So in this table now, I will only be doing for this table 1. In this particular table, let's copy this so that we won't need to retype it again. So in this particular table now, you do the same thing, but you'll be picking what? New label table 1, 1 point. Table 1 point. This for chapter 1 now. You press OK. Now this should be above. So you pick above. Then you press OK. Then this will tell you that table 1.1. And you do that for as many as the figures and the table that you have in your document. Then you go back here. You come back to list of table. Then you delete this. And you now insert the table. Go to referencing, list of this, then table 1. Then you call for table 1. Can you see? This is because it's only one that I have listed. That's why it's only one that is coming out. So you go back again, do for table 2 if there's any 2 points that you have, do for table 3 points if there's anyone listed. So now this is how to do formatting for chapter numbering format. This is how you do it. This is how you insert and how you call it. So you don't need to typically type anything in your list of table and list of figure. That will actually save you a lot of time. That is the problem that some students face. They will start typing and immediately there's any shift, they need to go and check again and start changing page 10 to page 11, page 12 to page 13. Maybe there's anything that they say they should delete and the whole page now has actually changed. All you just need to do is just to come back here and recall them. It's as very simple as that. Now this is the end for list of figure and list of table formatting. Moving on to the part 2 of this class, editing strategies. Now, editing is very crucial for the quality and the clarity of your academic article or report. Editing is very, very crucial for you to produce a good quality report. Now, what are the strategies involved in editing? Number 1, focus on the structure and the flow of your paper. Focus on the structure and the flow of your paper from chapter to chapter. Read it. Does your paper follow a clear logical progression? Do you understand what you are even writing? Does it make sense to you yourself? Read and see. If there's any need for you to change, then you can edit from there. Number 2, check for the clarity. Are your ideas expressed clearly and economically? You know, some people just pack junks. I call them junks because it's not necessary in the report. Or maybe you've mentioned something before. Let's take, for instance, you are discussing on Mesoneurium betaminum as a plant extract, and you've tell us the family that it belongs to, you've tell us the plant size, you've talked about those things. Now, checking on to your paragraph 2, you are still making mention of what you've tell us about already, not further explanation. No. You are still saying the same thing often and often again. You know, that is not clear. It's not clear to us. There is no logical progression. There is no clarity now. Another thing is verify your argument, logic, and evidence. Are your claims supported by a strong data and references? In some cases whereby you are writing a literature review, you need a strong referencing. And if peradventure there is any need for you to actually insert a table or a figure or a data to explain what you are trying to say, is quite advisable. So verify, does he align with one another. So the fourth thing that you need to do is to edit paragraph by paragraph. Don't be in a rush trying to edit the whole paper at once. No, you have problem with that. But when you edit paragraph by paragraph, it actually help your editing proficiency. So you need to check it by paragraph, what is happening here, what is happening here, and before you know it, you've edited the whole paper already. So another thing that you need to do is to leave time between your writing and editing. Leave time between your writing and editing. Most of us just finish writing and you just want to jump into editing, unless you are in a tight schedule, or maybe you are being given a short time frame. It's better you write and then come back maybe after hours or even a day or 2 days for your editing. This will actually help you to come with a fresh eyes and help you to note errors, something you need to edit on easily. It's going to help you to pinpoint them easily, so fast. I could remember that my supervisor said something to us, that the reason why he's sending us back to go and edit some things is because so that you will not wake up after and check your report maybe in the nearest future and you cry, because when a reality opens to you and maybe you are now knowledgeable now, you can actually see. And of course that actually happened to me. I went back to my report, this particular report that I just finished showing to you, and I can point a lot of mistakes that I was like, so now me write this. So it happens like that. When you come back over and over again, you come with a fresh eyes and you come with more clarity now to see and edit more. Don't just jump into editing straight after writing. You can need to wait for some hours, take a break, then come back for the editing. Now, the third part of this class is proofreading techniques. Now, this is very crucial and is very different from editing. This is what you do after editing. When you are now done with your editing now, you can now proofread your reports. You can proofread your report, and these are the techniques for you to proofread. Number one, read aloud. At times when you read with your eyes and you're not speaking out, there might be some oversight. But when you read aloud, you yourself can hear some awkward phrasing or some flow problems. You understand? And then you can actually correct that. Another thing there is that use grammar and spelling tools. Spelling tools like Grammarly. Grammarly will actually help you to pinpoint some logical errors or some grammatical errors in your report. It will help you to highlight them and gives you a possible suggestion of the correct way to put that. So I advise you to download Grammarly on your system or on your phone or whichever way you want to write your report. Make sure you have Grammarly. Another thing is you can make use of MS Word editor. If you are writing on system or on phone and you are making use of MS Word or Microsoft Office, there is always a follow comment editor that comes with it, so that when you write any particular text now that is not English or that is not correct or that is grammatically wrong, it will underline it with red, blue, and so on, so that it is going to pinpoint, it is going to be a pointer that you need to check this. Although, for some of us that might be writing scientific articles, there are some words that are correct but yet are not English based, so you might be expecting those words, you will see them and underline. Like for example, now when you see mesonerum betaminum is not an English word, so definitely Microsoft editor will underline it until you tell him that, oh, it's part of my word. So just right click on that and add to dictionary. Don't ignore such word. So such word you might not need to ignore it because it will keep appearing over and over again in your page. But when you've already add to dictionary, anytime he sees mesoneron or he sees bentaminum in your document, then he will not underline it with red again. It will not see it as a grammatical or a word error. So it will see it as part of the word that you are making use of for that article. But for reference now, those are another place that you can see an underlined word that it doesn't need to be underlined actually. When you are putting on references now, you will see some Yoruba name, English name, Chinese name, Korean name. Apart from the English names that might be well known by the system, some Yoruba name, Chinese name are not English based, and of course you should be expecting such word with underline, with maybe red underline. So in this case now you can ignore. Why you are going to ignore and not add to dictionary is because those words are not part of your keywords, you understand? And this particular report that you are writing is only for this report. You might not use that referencing again in the next report, you know. So you might need to just ignore. You don't need to add someone's name to your dictionary. So another one is the language tool. So all these tools are actually online. Just Google them, download them. It helps you to position your grammar very well. And for some of us that are good in English, you can do justice to that yourself. Read aloud, pinpoint some grammars, but you can also use grammar to fasten your work actually. So it pinpoints all those grammars and gives you possible suggestion. Another thing is check all the citation and references. Ensure that all in-text citation match with the end-text references. Now, this is a common mistake that students do. You know, for some of us that just copy articles online, you copy some articles and you forget to pick the end-text reference. No. Or maybe you just go to the end-text reference and pack audio end-text reference and add it to your own report. Now, this end-text reference are not part of your work. The in-text is not there. So it means that in a complete article now, having 50 in-text references and 50 end-text references. Now, in this case now, if peradventure you only pick an article that warrants you to pick 2 in-text reference from that article, all you just need to go to the end-text reference and pick that exact end-text references of the in-text. You know, I taught you in the last class that references is actually into 2 components, the in-text and the end-text, and they both works alongside with one another. So you don't write in-text citation and not put your end-text references, and you don't write your end-text references and not put your in-text citation. So after your work, that is part of things that you need to proofread. Check, does all the in-text match with the end-text? Some people might be asking that is very much on how to check. It's very simple. Since you've already highlighted or arranged your end-text referencing alphabetically, then it is very easy for you to navigate it from in-text. Just check the in-text and go to the end-text, check it alphabetically, check if it is there, move on to the next one. Do that repeatedly for all your in-text reference and remove every other citations that is not there. It's as very simple as that. Another thing that you need to do is to ensure visual consistency. Another common mistake among students or scholars writing reports or writing papers. Ensure that any style that you are making use of is actually consistent. In fact, consistency is one of the beauty of academic writing. You know, every format can be accepted. Any format so far is accepted by your supervisor. But what you just need to do is to keep consistency. So it means that your headline, the way you position it, is this center that you position it, means that all your headlines should be on center. What is the font that you use, the color of the font, the styling, the font size, the spacing, the bullet point, everything must be the same. Everything must actually be what? Be the same. Immediately you are making use of a different font here, another font here, then you are not consistent. So, you know, those kind of mistake is what can come along you copying, when you are copying from articles like that. So those are part of the things that you need to proofread when you are proofreading your articles. You check the font. Does everything align? Does your reference align? Is it properly is in a proper format? Does the format align? If you are making use of the APA format, does the APA format align all through? Is it the same all through? So those are the things that you need to check. Another thing that you can actually do is that this part might be expensive, but then if you want a good quality work, you might extend your proofreading to this point. Now, print out your documents and read it, because what happens is that some of us, when you are reading on phone, on your system or any soft copy now, it's not easy for you to identify some errors. But when you print them out, and that's why some supervisors want a printed document, because printed document is more visual. It's more visual now. It's more physical. It's an hard copy that you hold, so you can read the letters and the word and the sentence till paragraph till the end of your paper. So it helps you to catch more what problems and grammatical errors and every other errors that is in your report. Now the part 4, which is the interesting and the most crucial part of academic writing, is plagiarism. What is plagiarism? It is the act of using someone else's word, idea, data, image, structure without giving proper credit. Anytime you just copy any words online, or you pick an idea that somebody has posted online, somebody has published online, or a data that was formulated by someone, or maybe one image that was crafted or designed by someone, and you do not give proper credit by citing the person, is a serious offense in academic writing. That is called what? Plagiarism. It can actually be intentional. You copying without attributing to it. You understand? You are not citing them. You are just an intentional act. Or it can be accidental. Maybe fail to cite properly even though you use someone else's work. Normally, academic writing, you are open to use someone else's work. It's not that you cannot use someone else's work. You can make a reference to someone else's work anytime you want to, but make sure that you cite them properly. Another thing there is that maybe you not paraphrase well, because another thing there is that even though you are going to cite the person's work, you shouldn't just copy the whole article. You know, imagine somebody doing producing a textbook now, and I just pack the whole textbook, that same textbook now, I just pack it, then I just go and reproduce my own. Even though I mention their name that okay, it is from so 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 so, it doesn't still make sense. It doesn't still what? Make sense. All you need to do is just what? To paraphrase what they've done. In fact, the best way to paraphrase is for you to use multiple journals, multiple articles. Imagine now I can produce my own textbook from maybe 10 different textbooks. No one will penalize me for it. Combine this textbook, pick from here, pick from here, pick from here. While picking from them, reference them. So at the end of the day, what you now have is a refined one of 4 different sources or 10 different sources. And that is the beauty of academic writing. But peradventure, you just want to write an article now, you just take a journal, and everything on that journal is the only thing appearing in your research. In fact, some of the lecturers will tell you that one reference should not appear more than 2 times, and it should not be consistent. More like appearing here, appearing here, appearing here. No. Is that the only person that have mentioned those things so far? Go and check. Mix people up, mix ideas. That is the beauties of academic writing. The impact of plagiarism: if you actually plagiarize, what can actually happen to you? Number 1, this is very common to students: loss of mark. You lose mark. You know, in some cases whereby maybe your supervisors have already comment and decided not to comment again, then you just appoint you some any grade that fits into what you have done, and of course you will lose mark. Another thing is that you might face some academic penalty. This is for some reputable person. You might face some academic penalty, most especially if you are publishing, and you know your supervisor can still what your supervisor can hold against you is your mark. You might not be publishing it, you understand? But if you are publishing it now involving some higher authorities, you might be penalized for it. Number 2 is rejection of your paper. Now, for those of you that might want to publish to some journals, some international journals, some standard journals, they will not accept it. Even the least journal, your local journal self, once they discover that you are plagiarizing, they will not accept your paper for publication. So they will reject your paper for you to go and rephrase and redo and resolve all issues. And another thing that it might damage your academic reputation. Imagine you are a professor, you are a doctor, you've hold a significant position. With all those reputation, they now found that you are plagiarizing, and the person needs to persecute you and take charge on you. You understand? Those kind of things can damage your academic reputation. So anywhere now, how do you avoid this plagiarism? It's very simple. Always cite your source for any idea, data, or direct quotes that it is not your own. Always cite them. Always cite them. And that thing is paraphrase carefully. paraphrase your word what carefully. There are many paraphrasing tools online that you can use. Then after paraphrasing online, you too do well to use human intelligence. Sit down, read. How can you rewrite this? Now use quotation mark for direct quotation and cite the source. Another thing is run your document through some plagiarism checker. You know, when you are done with your work, that's part of the proofreading that you can do, or that's part of what you can do to check. There are so many tools online that you can use, like Onitin, Grammarly, Scriber. Those ones can help you to check, have you copied someone else's work, and it's very evident. You know, there are percentage. At least if your work is maybe 15%, 10%, 9%. In some schools, they accept 20% plagiarism. If your work falls between that range, at least it's still well accepted. Is well accepted. But if you are seeing 70% plagiarism, it means that 70% of your work is somebody else's work. Can you see now? It doesn't make sense anymore. So you might need to run that. Now, maintain detailed research notes. Maintain detailed research notes. Record where each idea comes from in your research. Maybe when you are carrying out your research now and you now want to correspond according to this study, in corresponding with this study, you know, maintain detailed notes. Maintain it. When you do that, you've referenced properly where the document or where the article or where the quotation is coming from. Follow your institutional or journal plagiarism policies strictly. You know, in some schools that says 20% plagiarism is still accepted, it means that you can still fall under that range and still be accepted. In some schools that they said is 15%, if they are on 20%, it means that it cannot be accepted. So adhere strictly to your institutional or journal or plagiarism policy. Now we've come to the end of this class. Now let's quickly take a review of what we've done. A well formatted list of table and figures improves document what navigations. When you list your table properly and your figure properly, it improves document navigation. Editing improves clarity and flow and strength of your what argument. When you edit properly, there will be clarity, there will be flow, and it will improve the strength of your argument. Now, proofreading catches surface errors and ensure a polished what final product. When you proofread your work properly, you will be able to eradicate those errors and you'll be able to polish your work properly for your supervisors to review and give you a good mark. Avoid plagiarism by citing properly, paraphrasing carefully, and using plagiarism checker. Final quality steps can make difference between an average paper or an excellent paper. So it means that if you have searched properly, if you have searched your article base properly, if you have done all the necessary things properly, and you did not format well, you did not edit well, you did not proofread well, you did not check and paraphrase well, it may actually affect the integrity of your academic writing. So everything falls to affect or to influence the integrity of your academic article. So don't take every step of this class for play. Come to the end of this section. If you have any question for this class, kindly send it on the comments section. You can send it there. We will do well to answer it. Thank you very much for joining the day 11 of our academic writing. And if these have helped you so far, please do well to give it a thumbs up, comment, and if you have not subscribed, do well to subscribe. So on the next will be the last of our academic writing series, which is the day 12, where we'll be teaching you some basic data analysis. Follow up and don't miss the class. See you in my next video.